Colin growing up was a really dedicated kid, no matter the sport, whether it was lacrosse or hockey or baseball. He always was putting 110% into everything that he was doing. So it was kind of a pleasure to watch him. It was easy to coach him, and we had a lot of fun along the way. Certainly the biggest challenge is letting go. One of the things that we did with school was to try and limit it to a 4-hour radius, someplace where we could go see him. And then all of a sudden he's out in San Jose, and then certainly Rochester was a little easier. Milwaukee has been a challenge, so this is my first trip out. But yeah, just letting go and letting him be the man that he is today. So pretty exciting to be here. Certainly Colin got acclimated into the hockey world, being a product of the 70s and the Bobby Orr generation, the Boston Bruins. It was just craziness, and we kind of embraced hockey in the area and played some high school hockey, certainly never to the level that these guys did.
A sieve.
But I was a goaltender, and the hardest part was just making sure that he didn't become a goaltender. Only one goaltender on the ice and a bunch of other forwards out there. So I think he kind of caught my hockey bug, and then he took it way farther than I ever did. So pretty excited about seeing his success. During his high school years, coaches that knew the pro game well came to me and just said that he had a unique talent, that he could be Division I, and he could continue if he worked hard, taking it to the next level. So coaches along the way would pull me aside and just really tell me that he had a special talent, and it was all up to him where he could go. So it was early on that we knew he had something special, and it was just a matter of where he took it to. So pretty proud of that. Youth hockey moments that stand out. The one he likes to tell the most is we had to be committed to multiple teams in our town, so he had to play town hockey and travel hockey, and 2 games were pretty much back-to-back, and in order to get from one to the other, he had to go fully dressed with his skates on. We had to jump in the car, and the car was up on edge, so I put him in the back seat. The door didn't close. He got out, and I drove away. He was
I'm like 6 years old.
So we kind of got a little ways up the road, realized he was awful quiet in the back seat because he wasn't in the back seat.
I was halfway to the other rink and realized that I was still in the rink.
No, it wasn't quite that bad, but that was probably the most defining moment of, oh, we're a little too serious about this hockey game here. But we did make it to the next game. He did well in both games, and he's never let me forget it.
No,
he's never let me forget it.
I remember seeing him drive off, being like, oh my God.
He could have gone right back in and got back on the ice and not missed a beat, but that was probably the most embarrassing moment. Yes, I think my proudest dad moment is seeing him graduate Harvard, seeing him take Harvard along with his teammates to a championship, to go to Lake Placid multiple times, but ultimately to know that he has 2 career paths that he can take. He can be a professional hockey player, he can follow his dreams, but he always has a great education, and he has done everything right in order to get to that spot. So that's really, his mom and I are pretty proud of that.
I mean, dating back to when we used to do 6 a.m. practices, and him getting up and kind of preparing everything for me, and then not only that, just the dedication that he showed me and put into my hockey career, and gave me every single opportunity, like you said, not only from an academic but athletic standpoint. It wasn't just hockey, it was every single sport. He kind of showed me and paved the path for me to kind of make sure that I'm invested 100% in this, and I got the love of the game from him, and that's a bond that we share with each other. And it's just kind of one of those things where looking back 10-15 years ago, I would never imagine that we're here today sitting here in front of you guys. But I said last night at our father's dinner, if I'm half the dad that you showed me, then I'm going to be pretty proud and successful in my life. So I owe everything to you and to Mom as well, and to have you here this weekend is pretty special.
I think I could probably add one thing to that, is somewhere along the line he stopped and he asked, how could I ever repay you? And being a businessman, I think he thought I was going to pull out a bill and say, okay, $1 million. But the answer was just make sure that you do the same thing that I did for your children. So it's that next generation commitment that I think makes all the difference in the world. Just do for others, do for your family what has been done for you, and that's payback.